I want to show you something. Right now, inside your body, there is a type of fat that you cannot see, feel, and cannot measure by stepping on a scale. It is sitting wrapped around your liver, kidneys, and your gut, and it is slowly, quietly making you older, making you sicker, and even making you dumber. And the scariest part, you might be completely lean on the outside and still have dangerous level of it on the inside. Today we are going to talk about aging. Not the kind of aging you see in the mirror, but the kind that happens inside. The one that decides how sharp your brain is at 50, how strong your heart is at 60, and whether you remember your grandchildren's name at 70. When most people say they want to lose weight, they think about fat they can grab. The fat on their bellies, their thighs, or arms. The fat you can see in the mirror. That fat is almost not the problem. The one that is actually dangerous is called visceral fat. It is completely invisible from the outside. It lives deep inside your abdomen, packed tight around your internal organs. It is not soft and jiggly. It is dense, deep, and biologically active. It does not just sit there. It works against you around the clock. Here is what it does. It releases chemicals that put your immune system on a constant low-level fire. Your body is always slightly inflamed. That inflammation makes you tired. It gives your brain fog and it makes you feel like you're operating at 70%, even when nothing is technically wrong with you. It also keeps flooding your liver with fatty acids, which causes your cells to stop responding to insulin, the hormone that moves sugar out of your blood. This is called insulin resistance. When that breaks down, your blood sugar stays high after every meal. Your body panics, overproduces insulin, then crashes. You feel exhausted an hour after eating. Then you crave carbs, you eat, and then the cycle repeats. This is how type 2 diabetes begins. Now, here is the number that should make you stop. Too much visceral fat doubles your risk of dying early. Not increases, doubles. Same risk category as smoking. It makes you 44% more likely to get metastatic cancer. It triples your risk of dementia. A 2024 Harvard study found that people with high visceral fat had significantly more of the exact protein in the brain that are the early markers of Alzheimer. And you don't have to be overweight to have it. You can be lean with a flat stomach and still have dangerous fat around your organs. These people are called metabolically unhealthy lean. They look healthy, but their blood work tells a completely different story. Visceral fat is the most important number most people never measure. Most people know the word lifespan, how long you live. The wellness world now talk about longevity, living longer and disease-free. But there is a new concept that I want you to know, because the first time I encountered it, it genuinely shifted how I think about my own body. It is called peak span. Here is the idea. Your body has a peak, a point of maximum function. Your muscles are strongest, your immune system sharpest, and your brain processes information the fastest. For most people, these systems start to peak around somewhere between 20 and 25 years old. After that, things start declining. Your muscle mass and immune system, your cardiovascular fitness, and in general, your processing speed. All of it begins a slow descent. Now, before you close this video, here is the important part. Peak span is not about going back to 25. That is impossible. Peak span is about staying within 90% of your maximum function for as long as possible. Slowing the drop, closing the gap between where your body is and where it could be. And the science says this is achievable. One study found that people who did Pilates 5 hours a week with some high-intensity work added on, such as running, reversed their heart biology age by 20 years. That is not a typo. I looked at this concept and it fired me up. Because the idea that aging is something that just happens to you, I reject that completely. Aging is something you either fight or surrender to. And most people surrender without even realizing it. Testosterone in men has dropped by up to 20% over the last 2 decades. Not individuals, on average, across the whole male population. Sperm counts are down, fertility is dropping. The obvious causes: poor diet, bad sleep, no exercises, and chronic stress. All true, but there is a third category that almost nobody is talking about it, and is sitting in your kitchen right now. Endocrine disrupting chemicals. These are man-made chemicals, mostly found in plastic, that acts like a fake hormones inside your body. They attach to the same receptors your real hormones use, and they either block those hormones or send completely wrong signals. The three main ones are BPA, Thalasis, and PFAS, also called forever chemicals. Here is what they're doing. BPA is in plastic water bottles, inside leaning on a paper coffee cups, canned food, and printed receipts. You name it. A study in teenage boys found that those with the highest BPA levels had 50% lower testosterone than the boys with the lowest levels, during the exact years their bodies are supposed to be developing. Thalasis are in the plastic food packaging, the thin wrap on your cheese, your meat, and your supermarket veggies. When plastic wraps around fatty food, those chemicals migrate directly into the food, and then into you. Studies show that men with the highest level of this plastic have 20% lower testosterone, worse sperm count, and the damaged sperm movement. PFAS, forever chemicals, are in non-stick pans. Yes, the pan you heat every morning. When the pan gets hot, those chemicals transfer into your food. They're also linked to accelerating menopause in women by 1 to 2 years and disrupting thyroid function in both men and women. Physical store receipts are printed using BPA. Just holding one transfers chemicals through your skin. If you have hand lotion on, absorption increases by a factor of 100. And now probably you're asking yourself, what do I do? So switch to a glass or stainless bottles, replace Teflon pans with stainless steel or cast iron. Store ketchup, hot sauce, mustard in a glass. Acid pulls chemicals out of plastic faster than almost anything. Ask for digital receipts. These are not expensive changes, they're just conscious ones. Before we continue with 5 things that actually slow aging, please subscribe to support the growth of this channel. First thing, move with intensity, not just a walk. A recent study found that for every 1 minute of strong exercises, you would need more than 100 minutes of walking to get the same reduction in risk of dying from heart diseases. 1 minute of running equals to 100 minutes of walking. Same benefits. And you don't need a gym or hours of work, just 3.5 minutes of intense movement per day. Sprinting, jumping, anything that gets your heart rate up has been shown to reduce cancer risk by 40%. 3.5 minutes. This is available to everyone. Second thing, sleep like your life depends on it, because it does. Young, healthy men who slept only 4 hours per night for 2 weeks gained 11% more visceral fat. Same diet, same exercises, just 2 weeks of bad sleep. If you sleep badly, everything else goes wrong. Visceral fat increases, testosterone drops, insulin resistance worsens, cortisol rises, your brain ages faster. Sleep is not recovery, sleep is construction. Prioritize it the same way you would a training session. One rule, stop eating at least 3 hours before bed. Eating activates your nervous system. That is the opposite of what you need before sleep. Studies confirm that late eating disrupts sleeping quality even when total hours look fine. Third, fast sometimes. Let your body clean itself. Your body has a built-in repair system called autophagy. It gets activated when you go without food. Your cells identify old, damaged, and broken parts inside themselves and remove them. A Nobel Prize was awarded in 2016 for discovering exactly how this works. You don't need extreme fasting to get the benefits. It starts after 12 hours without food. Dinner at 7 p.m., breakfast at 9 a.m. That is 14 hours. Your body has been cleaning itself entire night. Fasting also switches your fuel source from sugar to fat. As that happens, your liver produces ketones, powerful brain fuel. People who do this regularly report sharper thinking, less anxiety, and more focus in the morning hours. I do it myself, and the mental clarity alone would be the reason enough to continue. Fourth thing, protect your muscle. It is the most important organ you never think about. Muscle is not cosmetic. Muscle is the most important metabolic organ. Active muscles pull glucose directly out of your blood without needing insulin. This means strong, trained muscles protecting you from insulin resistance. The exact thing visceral fat is trying to cause. Muscle and visceral fat are fighting over your health. One of them wins. Between ages 25 and 65, men see a 200% increase in visceral fat even when their total weight stays the same. One of the biggest reasons is quiet, invisible loss of muscles over those decades. Resistance training is the most powerful tool against this. Lifting, Pilates, push-ups, anything that loads your muscle. And the protein intake is just as critical. Without enough protein, your body has nothing to rebuild muscle with. No supplement replaces this. Only the work does. 5. The most important one. Your environment is poisoning your hormones. Change what you can. We already covered this in detail, but it deserves its own point because it is that important and that overlooked. The chemicals in your plastic containers, your non-stick pans, your food packaging, your coffee cups, they are disrupting hormones that regulate your energy, your metabolism, your testosterone, and your thyroid. Documented by regulatory agencies worldwide. Not a theory. Start with one change this week. One glass of bottle, one stainless pan. Small decisions, compounded over years, make enormous difference. Here is the thing I want to leave you with. The conversation about aging usually sounds like this. It is inevitable. It is gradual. There is not much you can do. Just accept it. I reject that completely. The difference between someone who is sharp, strong, and energetic at 60 and someone who is exhausted, foggy, and broken at 40 is not mostly genetics. It is mostly decisions made daily over years. The visceral fat building from bad sleep and processed food, that is a decision. The hormones being disrupted by a plastic kitchen, a decision you can change. The muscles disappearing because you're not training, again decision. The cellular damage accumulating because your body never gets to clean itself, decision. Your body is not a machine on a fixed schedule. It is a living system that responds to signals. Every day you send it signals. The only question is which ones. The ones that age well are not the lucky ones. They're the disciplined ones. Peak span is possible, but it requires peak effort. Go train after you subscribe.